Have you ever opened TikTok to actually have fun, but end up feeling like shit instead? Well, that has been me lately, and I want to talk about this. Hi guys, I'm Angelica Chandra, your favorite Chindo. I go by the name Angel, and today is a very special episode of this YouTube channel because I normally don't do this, but I feel like it's just something that I really want to discuss or talk into because this is literally what I'm feeling right now. This isn't even scripted or anything. I did not prepare for this. I just decided to go and do it because it's been on my mind lately. So let's talk about it. What I do want to talk about is, so I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of background, okay? So I'm a Chinese Indonesian, Chindo, but I lived in Taipei, Taiwan. And I went there for university, I worked there, and then as you guys know from the I quit video, I recently quit my job like a month ago, and so now I'm creating a YouTube channel and possibly starting my own agency as well. So now I'm back in Indonesia. Currently I'm in Jakarta because I'm here for kind of Chinese New Year. And I'll be going back to Taipei. But ever since I moved back here, my TikTok For You page has changed pretty much a lot. And when I go back here now, the content on my TikTok starts showing like these successful small, medium-sized agency owners, like how they make their first, like I'm talking in the currency of IDR, which is the rupiah, like 1 million, so 1M in IDR, and that's basically, I don't know if that's like per month. They just said 1M. Usually I think it's per month. I think they're talking about per month. But basically they're just sharing like, oh, like you can do this too, or like this is how I did it, or this is how I got my clients, this is how I quit my 9-to-5 job. And most of these people, they're like my age or even younger. They're like in the age range of like around 21. Like I usually see they're like 22 to 23, okay? And I'm here, I'm 23. I'm just trying to figure out how to actually start this thing. And me looking at other people, like, okay, so there's two ways on how you can actually go around with like watching these videos, right? The first one, you can actually get inspired by it. This is actually the most important thing. Instead of being jealous of somebody's successes, you should leverage that as a motivation, as inspiration to be like, I want to learn from them. I want to be like them. I want to reach that goal point, right? But there's also this part of me where like I watch too much content like that on TikTok, and it's starting to make me feel like absolute shit. Just because like I'm 23 and I'm still figuring things out. You get it? And I bet a lot of people can relate. Like I feel like it's not just me, But at the same time, sometimes it just feels a little bit downgrading, or like I feel like I haven't accomplished a lot in my life, and they're like young and they're my age and they're out there accomplishing things, and I'm just here just trying to figure everything out. Well, I made this video just because I just wanted to let you guys know that everybody feels this way. I feel like this is not just me. Like I feel like most people, when they see these type of videos, they can feel both, but at the same time, I'm here to tell you, like, let's use that as a leverage for us to feel inspired, to be motivated, to quit our 9-to-5 jobs, if that's what you want, right? To start your own business and finally actually go after it, instead of being jealous and sobbing and curling up. So that's just kind of like what I feel right now, I guess. And I'll be answering some questions about this topic as well on like basically how to stop comparing yourself to others. And I guess another thing that I wanted to say is as well, I guess the only person you should actually compare yourself to is basically the person who you were yesterday. You shouldn't compare yourself with anybody else. You shouldn't compare with these, agency owners on TikTok, because as long as you do better than the you were yesterday when you did not do anything to make sure that dream was achieved, then that's all that matters. If you're taking one step further in making your dreams come true, that's the most important thing. And you shouldn't, when you're like, I guess when you're in a competition, let's say, and then the prize is right in front of you, let's say the trophy is right in front of you. You need to get the trophy because you're gonna get something really good, like candies or something, let's say. And then in these lanes, they're like right and left, there are just people there competing as well. So you gotta think of it as like, if you're like looking sideways all the time, looking at, oh no, they're going faster, you're not gonna be focused on like going full speed ahead forwards, but then you're just gonna be like, I'm looking right, I'm looking left, I'm looking at how fast they're going, and I guess you're just gonna be like slowing down your rate of speed, So I feel like it's very important that at least you're just moving forward than that person, like you were like here instead of like being here and just looking at right and left and you're not moving at all, right? I guess that's something, to think about. And as well as I also feel that in this situation, I mean, it's easier said than done. Obviously, I still find myself sometimes comparing myself to others as well. But that is really important because everybody has their own timeline. Like, your chapter 1 will not be like that person's chapter 1. Like, that person's success might be in chapter 3, but your success might be in chapter 20, So don't quit halfway as well. Because if you quit halfway, let's say you're in chapter 19 and you give up. But little do you know that you can finally be 3 times successful in chapter 20. So I guess that's that. And let me read some questions so I can answer some. Also, another thing that I'd like to add is the fact where it's social media. Okay? They literally show you the best parts, the accomplishments, the successes. They're not gonna show you like how hard they had to do, what they had to do to strive for it, right? So you can't just imagine that, that's so good being them. They have flexible working hours, they have a lot of money and all that. You don't see behind the scenes. You don't know like how hard they've worked and the countless, endless nights that they have to wake up and do work before they actually reach a certain success. So keep in mind that social media is literally a highlight of the successes and the achievements that they have had. So it's not all, real. Sometimes it's even scripted, So I guess I don't really have much to say about this. I just wanted to bring this topic up because I feel like a lot of people could probably relate to me, honestly, but I don't know, I might be wrong. So, yeah. And I think the last message I wanted to give out is just the fact that I think one thing what we can practice to make sure that we don't feel like this is to celebrate, and also for us to keep going like full ahead. It's just to keep track of like the milestones that we have. So every single small win that we have, let's say, for me, maybe it's to reach, to have 1 client, or it's to have an increase in engagement in my social media account, let's say, then we can celebrate these in small wins. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I have like 1 million rupiah per month now. It just could be like tiny small things, like, oh, yesterday this was my engagement and today it has increased by 10%, maybe. Okay, maybe not that small, but like, you know what I mean. It's just try to celebrate small wins instead of thinking of the result or the end goal, because honestly, I would say what matters is kind of the journey of how you get from point A to point B instead, the journey here instead of point B, because we're humans. We always want more. Like when we reach point B, there's gonna be point C and D and E, and it's not never ending, because we as humans, it's our human nature to actually want something. Like once I have, let's say, once I have this Coach bag, now I want this Gucci bag. After I have this Gucci bag, so I want a Hermes, So it's like, we always want something. So enjoy the journey, celebrate the journey, instead of just thinking of the end result. And that's all I can say. I mean, easier said than done. Again, like, I sometimes still feel that way too. And when it gets to the point where like it's just, consuming you, I feel like you should take a little bit of a TikTok break. But if that gets way too much for you, for me, I leverage it more as like an inspiration, instead of like inspiration to push me to do better, instead of like, okay, I'm just gonna die in a curl, But if you do feel like it's too much, I would suggest to take a little bit of break from TikTok and just focus on yourself and focus on your goals. That's all I can say. I don't even know if anybody's gonna be hearing about this podcast or even relating to me. I hope somebody relates, because honestly, that would be so sad if nobody could relate to me about this topic. But yeah, as you can see, this is very unscripted. I just got home and decided I wanted to do an episode, a very random one to say the least. I'll do another episode about this, how to stop comparing yourself to others, but in a more structured way. This is just kind of like a one-on-one with Angel type. Like, you see, like, my background's not even, like, it's not, I just literally put the camera over there in front of me and shoot. So anyways, I hope you guys liked what I have to say, found this useful, and I hope somebody can relate to it. And if you like this type of content, do let me know. So maybe I could just make a little bit more, like personal type of podcast without like, not really like editing. It's just what we feel and relatable stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!